The night he said it, he didn't even raise his voice. My mom thinks you're beneath me, and maybe she's right. It was casual, almost careless, like he was commenting on the weather. I remember smiling, not because it didn't hurt, but because it hurt too much to react. Maybe she is, I said quietly, folding my hands together so he wouldn't see them shake. He looked relieved. That was the worst part. I wasn't born into money. I didn't have connections or a powerful last name. What I had, I built. Late nights, double shifts, skipped meals, silent struggles. No one saw that part of me. No one from his world ever cared to. His world was polished. Perfect. Expensive dinners. Designer clothes. Conversations about status and standards. And in that world, I was always the outsider. His mother made sure of it. Some people just don't belong, she once said while looking straight at me, smiling sweetly so no one else would notice. But I noticed. I always noticed. Still, I stayed. Because I loved him. Or maybe I loved who I thought he was. The man who once held my hand and said, I don't care where you come from. Funny how people change when their comfort is challenged. The dinner was planned weeks in advance. Big house. Important guests. Family friends. His mother called it a small gathering. I knew better. It was a stage, and I was the performance. I wore my best, simple, clean, elegant. Nothing flashy. Just me. When I walked in, I felt the stares. Measured. Judged. Dismissed. Halfway through dinner, his mother stood up, gently tapping her glass. I'd like to say something, she announced gracefully. The room quieted. She smiled, that same controlled, perfect smile. My son is about to make one of the most important decisions of his life. And while love is important, we must also consider background, class, and compatibility. A few people nodded. Some even smiled. Then she looked at me. Not directly, but enough. And then he spoke. Mom just means some things matter more long-term, he added, avoiding my eyes. That's when something inside me finally stopped holding on. I placed my fork down, calmly, silently. Actually, I said, my voice steady, she's right. The room shifted. Now everyone was listening. I stood up, looked at him, then at her. Compatibility matters. And I think I've been ignoring that truth for too long. His brows furrowed. What are you saying? I reached for my ring, the one he gave me with promises that suddenly meant nothing. And I placed it in his hand. I'm saying I deserve to be somewhere I'm not constantly reminded I don't belong. A deep silence fell across the table. His mother's expression cracked for the first time. And him? He looked lost. I didn't cry. Not there. I walked out with my head high, because for the first time, I wasn't choosing love. I was choosing myself. 2 months later, my life looked completely different. I finally launched the business I had been putting off, afraid it wouldn't fit into his world. Turns out, it created my own. New office, new team, new confidence, and peace. Real peace. The day he showed up, I almost didn't recognize him. No arrogance, no certainty, just regret. I was wrong, he said, standing in front of me. I let them influence me. I didn't realize what I had. I listened, quietly, because now I wasn't the same girl anymore. Now you do? I asked. He nodded. Hope flickered in his eyes. But I just smiled. Softly. Good, I said. Because now you'll remember exactly what you lost. The moment you decided I was beneath you. And then I walked past him, without looking back. He didn't follow me. At least not that day. But I could feel it, the shift. The weight of what I'd left behind had finally moved from me to him. A week passed. Then another. I buried myself in work. Meetings, planning, late nights. This time not out of survival, but purpose. For the first time in years, I wasn't trying to prove my worth to anyone. I was just living it. Then one evening, as I was about to leave the office, my assistant hesitated at the door. Someone's been waiting for you, she said carefully. I didn't need to ask who. I already knew. He was standing outside. Same place. Same expression. Different energy. I didn't come to argue, he said the moment he saw me. I just needed to talk. I crossed my arms, calm, distant. You've already said what you needed to say, I replied. He shook his head. No, I didn't. Not the truth. I stayed silent. So he continued. I was weak, he admitted. I let my mother decide what mattered. I chose comfort over courage, and I lost you because of it. For a second, just a second, something in me softened. Not love, not anymore, just recognition. Because this was the first time he was actually being honest. I loved you, he said, his voice lower now. I still do. I looked at him, really looked at him. And for the first time, I didn't see the man I once dreamed of. I saw the man who failed me when it mattered most. Love isn't the problem, I said quietly. Respect is. He swallowed hard. I can change. That line, it used to mean everything. Now, it felt empty. Maybe you can, I said, but you won't be changing for me. He stepped closer, desperate now. Just give me one chance. I'll fix everything. I'll stand up to her. I'll prove it. I let out a small breath. And then I said the one thing he wasn't ready to hear. You had your chance. Silence. Heavy. Final. But we were supposed to get married, he whispered. I gave a faint smile. No, I said softly. I was supposed to shrink myself to fit your world. That's not marriage. His eyes dropped, and I could see it the moment it fully hit him. This wasn't a temporary distance. This was the end. I turned to leave, but then I paused. Not for him. For me. Do you know what hurt the most? I asked without turning back. He didn't answer. I did. It wasn't your mom thinking I was beneath you. It was you starting to believe it. That truth landed harder than anything else. This time, when I walked away, he didn't call my name. He didn't try to stop me. Because deep down, he finally understood. Some losses don't come back. Months later, my company grew faster than I imagined. New clients, bigger opportunities, and somewhere along the way, I found something I didn't even know I had lost. Peace, confidence, myself. And one random evening, I got an invitation. His family. A formal event. I almost laughed. Then I noticed the reason. They wanted to partner with my company. I showed up. Not for them, but for closure. The moment I walked in, everything changed. Same people, same room. But this time, no one looked at me like I didn't belong. Because now, I owned the room. His mother approached me first. Careful, polite, different. We'd like to discuss a collaboration, she said. I held her gaze. Calm, unshaken. Of course, I replied. Professional, nothing more. And then I saw him. Across the room. Watching. Quiet. Regret still written all over his face. But this time, there was something else too. Acceptance. As I turned away to join the meeting, I realized something. I didn't need him to regret. I didn't need them to accept me. I didn't need anything from that past anymore. Because the girl they once called beneath had finally risen to a place where their opinion didn't even reach. And that was the real ending.